some very dynamic systems have been moving through the off the west coast and the east coast this morning, through the rest of the day today, potentially damaging winds on both ends of the country here. And good morning to y'all. This is Tim Ealer. Hope y'all doing well. Today is Friday, 19th of December, getting close to Christmas here. Um, If you haven't yet, please subscribe and like the video here that I'm making. I spend a lot of time on this every day for y'all. I appreciate that. Anyway, let's get started here. We have the all the current hazards with the national radar pulled up. Okay, mostly rain out west here. Let's take the hazards off for a second. All right, and rain with some snow up into the higher terrain here. Some ice up here in the Montana, some snow into North Dakota, some heavier snow here on the backside of the system as it moves through. Heavy rainfall and some thunderstorms offshore here. And the cold front's already pushed through the Macon area where I live. With moisture streaming northward here, heavy rain ongoing here up into the northeast, the mid-Atlantic. See where the rain snow line is here all the way up into Canada, with heavy snow ongoing here, right on the back side of this precipitation shield. All right, so take this off and we'll bring up the hazards. Quite a bit going on here. Have red flag warnings, high wind warnings out west here. The high winds up to 100 miles an hour. Okay. Wind and weather advisories, winter storm warnings, flood watches, flood warnings off the coast here. Some more high wind warnings and wind advisories. And along the Great Lakes here, we got gale warnings, wind advisories, wind and weather advisories, right? Okay. With that snowfall up in the North Dakota and Minnesota, we have cold weather advisory. So very cold wind chill as low as 40 below. My cat jumping up on my desk here. Wind and weather advisory in parts of Montana, like I said. And in the northeast, we have high wind warnings. Mid-Atlantic, winds 40, 50, 60 miles per hour as the system moves through. Right? So what are the current wind? I mean, really, the biggest threat with all this stuff right now is the winds and the extreme cold up into extreme North Dakota here, and the rainfall on the west coast. So let's look at the temperatures real quickly. Yeah, pretty warm here in the northeast into the mid-Atlantic and the southeast, with cooler temps moving in, but you see how warm it is to the south of this front. Coldest temps up here into the northern part of the U.S. Negative 20, 30, maybe 20 degrees Fahrenheit up here. And out west, you see how warm it is, except for in the mountains. Mountain snow here. Now we bring up the winds real quick. Winds gusting already the 20, 30, well, winds at 30 miles per hour sustained. And along in the mid-Atlantic, Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes area. And these winds are going to pick up today as we get some mixing in the atmosphere as this cold front moves through. What are we looking at with excessive rainfall today? We have a slight to marginal risk of excessive rainfall on the northern California coast and Oregon coast, and into coastal Maine, parts of Vermont, Massachusetts. The threat along the west coast moves a little further south. And for Sunday, we have a slight risk again on the northern California coast and inland. and marginal risk surrounding it. So most of Northern California in that marginal risk to slight risk. It remains that way through close to Christmas here. So we get to day 5, which is Tuesday, I believe. Still got that marginal risk, excessive rainfall on the west coast here, parts of California, and Northern California again. We get the severe weather. Expecting the potential for high winds here with this marginal risk. Isolated damaging winds may accompany convection over the mid-Atlantic today. So interestingly enough, that's not surprising given what I'm seeing on the models and stuff. Interior Wyoming, Montana may have some high winds, not severe, but thunderstorms. Southern Florida along the west coast and all along the northeast and mid-Atlantic here. Tomorrow, just a small chance of thunderstorms along the Washington coast. And for day 3, which is Sunday, no thunderstorms expected at all. So next couple days will be a little bit more active, but other than that, not a lot going on. Now, if we go back to day 1, mostly wind threat, right? No hail, no tornadoes expected. Okay, just the high winds with this system. So what we're looking at for temperatures here in middle Georgia for the next couple days, generally in the 50s to 60s. Cool and dry and breezy today, then warming over the weekend. And this is a 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Unusual warmth will be moving into most of the low 48 for the end of December. And highs in the low to mid 70s are likely for Christmas Day. And of course, 6 to 10 day precip outlook, which I'll show on a different slide later on, favors drier than normal conditions here. Now today, like I said, highs in the 50s to upper 40s to mid 40s up north. For most of the state, or all the state's going to be clear skies today. Tonight, near freezing for much of the state, clear skies. Tomorrow, highs in the 60s, clear skies tomorrow. And for the long-term temperature outlook, I took the precip outlook off because it was showing a chance of precip each day, and I don't think that that's going to happen here. So overall, you see relatively good confidence in the temperatures as we get past Christmas. For lows are going to be in the 50s, which is way above normal. All right. The top chart doesn't show the any kind of ensemble mean or minimum or maximums aren't shown on here, so it's really hard to say what the Tmax and min are, but generally, well, I don't know, trending to be warmer than average, I would say, and maybe coming close to normal for lows here as we get towards the first part of next year. But quite a bit of uncertainty. We get that far out. You see how far the difference between the different ensemble members are. Can be very warm, very cold each day. But we get towards Christmas, right? Pretty good confidence for lows and highs here. So likely to be pretty warm on those days. Few graphics from the Cheyenne and Colorado area for the winds. It's going to be near I-25, wind gusts to 90 miles per hour expected today. I-80, wind gusts 80 plus mile per hour expected. And the remaining areas in the map here. 6 to 75 mile per hour wind gusts expected. It's crazy. Another graphic here, the red flag warning. 10 a.m. Friday, 11 p.m. Friday. Humidity is very low. Great potential, a large potential for easier fire starts and rapid fire spread. Further south here, the Colorado Springs area. And these are the wind gusts, right? Red flag warning, fire weather watch for these areas today. So 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. today. So wind gusts 20, 30, 40, 50 miles per hour in these areas today. And the same thing for North Platte, Nebraska. New record temps in the lower to mid 60s expected. Winds strengthen west of Highway 83 tomorrow afternoon, gusts to 40, 50 miles per hour expected. Don't burn, okay? Don't burn at all. All right. Yeah. So that's all for those graphics. I just want to show you a few of those so you get the idea of the severity of the potential out here for wildfires. As far as wind chills, yeah, you can see the coldest areas up here and the cold front moving through. Air temperatures in the negative single digits to near negative 10 up here. Wind chills, negative 16 to negative 20 degrees for a good portion of the northern high plains into the upper Midwest, into the parts of the Great Lakes. And like I said, you can see the cold front is moving through here. Now, as far as wind gusts, I want to show you this model output here. You can see where the highest wind gusts are in the timing, right? Pretty windy all along the East Coast and into the Midwest here. You see the high winds push through around 10 a.m. Eastern when that cold front pushes through. High winds in the Appalachians here, and you see in the higher terrain of the Rockies here over 100, close to 100 mile per hour winds here. That's crazy. Even in the higher terrain of the Appalachians, 60, 70 mile per hour winds this afternoon. The winds subside some here, but stay pretty high here in the Rockies and all into parts of Wyoming, especially. You see these winds 40, 50, 60 miles per hour, and parts of the northern high plains into the central plains, all the way down to Texas. And the winds move offshore here in the northeast. So by tonight, by this evening, 4 p.m. Eastern, this model's still running. So very dynamic systems on both sides of the country today. As far as expected rain, snowfall, the highest snowfall amounts are expected in the mountains in the west from the Rockies into parts of the Wyoming area. The higher terrain out west here into the Cascades and parts of the Sierra Nevada range. And on the northern tier of the U.S. and the Great Lakes, the lee side of the lakes here, right? So this is through Monday, right? With most of the snow out west here, right? And then into the extreme northern U.S. Rainfall, total rainfall expected, highest amounts, of course, through Monday, the northern California area, all on the west coast. So, and that's where the highest, the rainfall, excessive rainfall outlooks are highlighted these areas as well. far as the short-term hazards outlook, we have risk of high winds right before Christmas here, Intermountain West into the Rockies and different areas. Most of Wyoming, parts of Montana, heavy snow in the parts of Idaho, Washington State into the Cascades, Sierra Nevada range here, heavy snow and heavy rain along the west coast, and hazardous cold in the parts of Alaska, and high winds as well. So this is HRRR short range model guidance radar precip showing quite a dynamic system right here. You can see the isobars, how tightly packed they are. Same thing out west here. The more tightly packed those isobars are, the higher the winds will be, right? And if we bring up wind speed, now that we have wind gusts on here, interestingly enough, it wasn't here the other day. Yeah. Showing the same thing I showed earlier. See another system and this wind's picking up today. All down here, all the way down into Texas, right? And the highest winds from the south up here into New England. Parts of the Mountain West. We showed that already. So let's go back to the radar. System moves off the east coast. Maybe some snowfall on the back side of this. But we have that other system moving up way to the north here. Potentially bringing some more snow. Saturday, the parts of the extreme upper Midwest here. And maybe into the northeast, and you can see where the system out west comes on shore. If we go further out with the NAM, pick up where the HRR left off. System kind of gets lost up here into the Intermountain West, and more rain comes on shore and onshore here in the west coast, with the system kind of making a glancing blow here into the northeast, moving to the north. European moving out further with this. Yeah, so you can see another low pressure coming on shore here next Thursday around Christmas time. Gonna ruin everybody's Christmas out here. Right, so let's look at temperatures for that day. Yeah, so temperatures near 70 Christmas Day, in the 60s for a good portion of the country here. So enjoy it. Maybe near 80 in the South Texas. Bringing up the simulated radar again. We'll go a little bit further out to get an idea of the overall flow pattern. You see the system moving way to the north up here. Okay. Looks like a cold front tries to push through. We get further out here and we look at temperatures again. Maybe cooling off some here. The Euro really wants to show a cool down here. Cold front pushing through. This is 7 a.m. that day. Well, this is towards the end of the model run, which doesn't have a lot of good resolution. Yesterday we had it wanted to develop a system offshore here. No evidence of that this time. Much further to the north. But this is far out, guys, so you can see evidence of a cold front. It looks like a CAD wedge in place here. Warmer temps ahead of the cold front. Pushes through. Briefly cools down. Then warms up again to the west. We see cold temps bobble up far to the north here. As far as 8 to 14 day hazards, we talked about this. But we have a slight risk and high risk to moderate risk of heavy rainfall all on the west coast through the end of this period here. Of course, the snow risk is highest out west as well. Nothing really to the east here. High risk hazards. High winds all out west. Moderate risk the 26th to the 1st up to north here. For the south, the 26th and 27th, parts of Alaska. And further east here, the 26th to the 1st. No hazardous temperatures expected. And we talked about the warm temps. Near normal along the west coast. Maybe below normal up to the north here and the northeast, but above normal probably for possibly most likely for the most of the country here. Precip chances trending below normal for a good portion of the south and the plains, with above normal precip along the west coast. Again, we get a little more push of cooler air to near normal temps along the east coast and the northeast, suppressing the ridge somewhat. About above normal for most of the country here and on the west coast, either near normal to below normal temps. Alaska potentially likely below normal, and Hawaii still above normal here. Above normal precip chances continue along the west coast, below normal in the central U.S., leaning below. Near normal precip chances in the gray areas, maybe above normal down in South Texas, and below normal still in the south, the southeast, and along the Gulf Coast. Near normal, below normal in Alaska, and above normal precip chances in Hawaii. And here's a 3 to 4 week temperature and precip outlook. This will be updated today, so hopefully we'll have a better idea of what's coming here. And here are the key messages for the atmospheric river that was updated yesterday. Really shows the same graphics I showed before. You can read this if you want, but yeah, the atmospheric river is going to continue along the west coast for the foreseeable future, guys. So if you live out there, be prepared for this. Kind of a struggle today to get through this video. Not feeling the greatest, but I appreciate y'all and love y'all, and God bless.